I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Ooh, yeah. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Ooh, yeah. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Ooh, yeah. Crystal Mitchell, do you have my business plan?
Good afternoon and welcome to the Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert. We're glad to have you today. Gilbert is on his way, so he should be here shortly. I teased him and told him that we missed him. He's been here. We've been missing in action for a couple weeks, but he's been pretty busy with doing conferences and workshops and just out there doing his business thing. Been a busy week. Been a really busy week this week. Went to some great conferences. There was one conference I went to that was it's a round table, series of round tables that we're having to harness the voices of our Black businesses to drive change and increase opportunities in our community. So the event was held in Inglewood, the city of Inglewood, and all of the Inglewood brass and the mayor came out, the assemblywoman for city of Lawndale, the mayor of Lawndale came out. All of us were out there. Why? Well, because we're trying to reach out to our small business owners and find out what has been their obstacles and their obstructions to receiving capital, raising capital to run their businesses. One of the things that we know that for a business to grow, it has to have the capability to hire employees. It has to have the capabilities to do marketing and to have a marketing budget. And a lot of our small businesses do not have that. And so this is the purpose of this. We're raising capital or in the process of raising capital, and we need to address and find out what our business owners' needs are. And that's the purpose of the Business Zone, is to bring opportunities and resources and support and tools to our listening public and audience so that they can make sure that they have what they need in advance. So when they make the decisions to grow their businesses and scale their businesses, then those tools are out there. So this is the second of the series. So the next meeting is going to be in the city of Carson. And then after that, we're coming back to South Los Angeles, and then from there we're going to the Inland Empire, and from there to the Antelope Valley. So our goal is to acquire 300 voices by the end of October, and then 700 voices and completed surveys by February of 2017, when we're going to launch the capital program, or the Access Capital program. So if you're interested, and if you've been a business owner out there that has found it difficult to find capital for your business, and you've had some interesting experiences, you've never applied because you never thought that you would be able to get the hey Mark, how you doing, that you would never be able to get a loan, so you never even tried to do that, then this is that opportunity. We truly want to hear from you. So the meetings are generally in the morning. They're from 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock. I'm not quite sure the location as of yet, but if you check into our Facebook pages, the Recycling Black Dollars Facebook page, my personal Facebook page, and the Business Zone Facebook page, you will see the information, and I will send out notices and so forth through over the next few days. So the next meeting is going to be October 8th, and we will have the location shortly. And as well, another great thing that's coming up, Recycling Black Dollars. As you guys know, I am the co-director of Recycling Black Dollars. It's an organization that's been in our community for the last 28 years. And we are here to support our businesses to make sure that we're recycling our dollars back into our community. For those of you that may not know this, our dollar only circulates about an hour in our community, and that's really not a good thing, because cities and our our community can only thrive if we are actually supporting our black businesses. So there are a number of small black businesses out here. We represent, I want to say, I heard last night at a meeting I was at, about 1 million black people own or have small businesses. Only a small number have employees in those businesses. But nevertheless, that's a lot of resources that we and businesses that we can support in order. Hey, Billy, how are you? Congratulations on the new grandbaby. We can support each other. It's really, really important that we support each other, because here's the thing. If we are consumers, which we are the consumer marketplace, and we represent $1.2 trillion of consumer income, then we have a lot of power. We're just not using that power in a manner that would help our community or ourselves create wealth and jobs in our community. Okay? So it's important that we start supporting each other. Recycling Black Dollars, we have a resource guide. That guide is on our website, which is rbdmedia.org. You can access the resource guide and find businesses and people that you can support if you don't know where there is a black business. We are still taking ads right now. And so if you want to get into our book so everyone knows that you're out there, then you can actually reach out to us and we can get you the information. We got about another week before we start putting everything together and go to print. So you want to be in the book. We're going to have we're going to launch our mobile app in the beginning of the next year, 2017. So you definitely want to be in there, because the goal is for you to have much more traction to be able to do national and global business. So that on that point. And RBD, we are celebrating the homegoing of our founder, Muhammad Nazardine, at our next meeting. Our meeting is on Tuesday. It's always the second Tuesday of every month, so mark your calendar. And it is and I believe that's the 14th, and we will be at Denny's at Crenshaw and Coliseum, and from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. And so we're doing a tribute to Muhammad Nazardine. And so for those of you that are out there and you know Muhammad, and you've had some, and you know that this organization, the whole vision of this organization, and it's still been able to carry on 10 years after he has gone on to his glory, or to his original home, has been able to carry on because Muhammad was such an amazing revolutionary visionary, actually. And so come on out and help us celebrate his home, a tribute to him. And we'd love to have you. There will be, I will be sending out e-blasts shortly, probably next week. And my co-partner, Jackie B., she's already sent out quite a few. So quite a few people know about it. So come on out and join us on October 14th at Denny's on Crenshaw and Coliseum, which is, by the way, a black-owned business. And Ron Smothers, he's fantastic. We've been hosting our meetings there for the last couple of years. I want to say 4 years, I think. And so we're very pleased to be there. He's very pleased to have us there. And it's a great location for us to have our meetings. So we're going to talk about something else. What else did I do this week? I went last night, which was absolutely fantastic because I absolutely love this man. It is George Fraser. I attended the George Fraser Power Networking Conference last night here in Los Angeles, and he was here with a number of panelists that were absolutely fantastic, and we talked about money. We talked about you and money, and us and money, and the community and money, and we talked about why it's important that we start to think in a bigger, broader sense of mindset. So we had some great guests, our guest panelists. We had Letitia Wright. She was fantastic, and she's going to be on the show in a couple of weeks. Hey, David. And then we had John Brown, who is an investment real estate investor. Actually, he is a VC. He's a venture capitalist, and so he invests in a number of businesses. One of his clients we're going to have on the show. She has a drink called the Gorilla Drink, and so she's going to be on the show to talk about it. We had the money coach. Her name is Cosetta White. She was fantastic. We had Elsie Green, who is a longtime member of Recycling Black Dollars. He actually spoke at our meeting last month, and so he's really good. He's our money guy. And then our MC was Tammy Washington. So we had a fantastic time. We were at the Doubletree Inn by Hilton in Culver City. So if any of you have ever heard George Frazier speak, you know what we heard last night. And he's out also promoting, and yeah, David, it was nice, huh? He's out promoting, he's out promoting, what was he promoting? Oh, the Power Networking event that is coming up on next year, July, let me see the dates, July 6th through the 8th. So it's going to be some amazing people that will be there. Kathy Hughes, Damon John, Isala Van Zant, who else? Roland Martin and Willie Jolie, and just some major people. Actually, Dr. Julianne Marveau, if you've ever heard her speak on entrepreneurship, and she is the dean at Bennett College. She is going to be there. So I went to that Power Conference this past May, and I must tell you, it was absolutely an amazing experience. It took me days and actually a whole month to stop talking about it. I was in the room with 1,500 people that thought like I did, that wanted to do business with me, and the speakers, it was all in the TED Talk type of format, the 17-minute format, and oh my gosh, was it ever popular. So, and was it ever powerful? It was intense. We were there for 3 days. And from 7 in the morning to 7 in the afternoon to 10 o'clock at night. It was absolutely fantastic. So if anyone wants to call in to the show, it's 323-293-3375 if you want some more information on the Power Network. George will be back in November. He'll be back in November 19th, actually. And they're going to be in Carson, the city of Carson, at the community center. So if you want to come out and hear George and also register for the event at that time, that'd be fantastic. What else would we need to talk about? But it was so funny because there was so many fantastic people that I know. I actually acquired probably 5 more people that would be interested in being on the show. So that was fantastic. And I want to talk, and people were asking me yesterday, how come I knew so many people, and it was in an area, and everybody came from different places. I knew people from Recycling Black Dollars. I knew people from other business aspects and other organizations that I've been involved with, and it's called networking. It's called networking and making connections and leaving a lasting impression on those individuals that when they see you, they remember who you are. And also making impressions on other people who know me, and then they tell people about me, and then those people eventually I find have become clients as well. So, or also seeking out services that I have. So we're going to do a show at some point, possibly in the month of November. We're going to do a show on networking and marketing and social media, and how do you use your resources when you're out meeting people. How do you create that relationship so that you guys can eventually get to know each other, become comfortable with each other, and trust each other, and then want to do business with each other? Because that's what business is about. People trusting you. They do business with you, not necessarily your product. It's about you. And so that's important. That's really, really important for you as a business owner to make sure that when you meet people, that you're meeting them with the intention to build a relationship, not to sell them on the spot. None of us will do business with somebody we just met. And it absolutely amazes me when I do meet people who don't quite understand the basis and the concept of networking, how they feel that immediately upon meeting us that we're going to just get right down into having conversation, and I'm going to be ready to, on the spot, just do business with them. I don't know them. I don't know anything about them. I don't know anything about their product. And it's like rushing. It's like dating. It's like going on a date and immediately you're asking the person to marry you 5 minutes after you met them. Okay, so we're not going to do that, right? So this is the same concept with networking. So in the next month or so, we're going to have a conversation on what that looks like and how do you network and how do you make it effective for yourself and also beneficial for the person that you're meeting. And guess what? My co-host just got here. He has been on that nasty Los Angeles freeway that is just intense. And so we're going to give him a moment to breathe deep and debrief himself from the freeway. Because I tell you, the freeway is just nasty. I drive that freeway 2 times a week, and it's horrible. I don't know where all these people have come from, but I really think that they should go back to wherever they came from, or at least they should start taking the bus, maybe, huh, Gilbert? Not us. They should start taking the bus or some sort of public transportation so those of us that live here can drive. It's insane. I got wore out the other night. I fell asleep and I couldn't even get up in the morning for my spiritual call. I was just too wiped out. So let's see what else we're going to talk about until Gilbert gets his bottom over here. We're going to go to break right now so that we can get our co-host over here so he can say hello. I'm sure he has missed his people here.
BizPro is a cloud-based, all-in-one business management, procedure, and market research system that is uniquely designed to help minority business owners become business-ready, contract-ready, and bank loan-ready. This powerful tool makes running your business a very simple and easy process. Small Biz Pro provides immediate access to key documents in 10 seconds or less, so no more searching for those important documents when you need them. It gives business owners a sense of order and confidence. Are you ready to become business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready? Then log into smallbizpro.net and get your limited free trial of Small Biz Pro today.
He's like, whew, whew.
Wait, let me get my mouse.
Hello, and we are back. We have a slave driving producer over here, boy. Y'all got 1 minute to get it together.
She's cracking that whip.
She cracked the whip on
Say, hey, I got to get out of here at 5.
So we are back, and you are tuning into the Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert, and now it's Crystal and Gilbert, not just Crystal.
That's
He's
right,
back.
baby.
So go and say hello to your audience.
Hey, my peeps, how you doing? Entrepreneurs, I know you guys have missed me for a little while, but I got good news and good tidings of great joy for you. So, Crystal, thanks for holding the fort while I wasn't here.
No problem. It's fun.
And Poetess, thank you for making things happen also. I hear you had a great podcast class the other day. Excellent. So we're going to do this again soon?
And she also had a, what else she had? Yeah, we actually are going to do the podcast again next month.
Good,
so we already have people ready to sign up.
I'm loving that.
So we're going to increase our family.
Yes.
But she had her. You haven't been here since the radiothon,
No,
right?
I haven't been here in a while.
So she had a great radiothon.
All right.
I watched some of the shows while I was driving
That's
on
good.
that insane traffic out there. And,
Oh man.
And what else have we been doing around here? She's got a couple of new one new show, Jay Anthony.
Really?
So she got
All
that,
right.
and hopefully
Hey.
out of the podcast, she might have two people. Two
That
or three
is great.
people.
That is great. See, that's what we strive for around here. We always want to have new talent, new blood join in the family. And, believe me, Felicia have done a great job in reaching out and sharing her resources to all potential business owners. So much respect. More power to you, Felicia.
And you see the new edition?
Oh, yeah. I'm looking at that. I'm going, man, I look handsome. Look at me. Look at me.
I know, huh? Isn't that pretty cool?
Oh, that's great. That's phenomenal.
So those of you that are on Facebook Live, you guys can't see what we see. And so if you go on morrismedialive.com, you can catch the live podcast. We are broadcasting right at this present moment. So it's morrismedialive.com. And the show is The Business Zone, because right at the present moment, you're just getting me, which is fine. You can get me, but we'd love to have you be able to view the show while it's going on, because you can call us and you can have comment. And we're The Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert, and the call-in number is 323-293-3375. We'd love to hear from you. So tune in, go online and to morrismedialive.com and check us out. And also people on Facebook, while you guys are doing that, go to The Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert, our website, and subscribe. And go to our Facebook and like us.
Yeah.
And as well, go to YouTube. Hey, Jashelle, how are you? Good to see you. Glad that you're tuning in. And go to our Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert to our YouTube channel and subscribe, so that if you do miss the show, that you can actually get I'll put the link up on by this evening and no later than Saturday afternoon, and you can see the show then if you are in a position where you can't watch it right now.
Excellent.
But in the meantime, stay on. You can hang out with us on Facebook Live, but you're only going to get a portion of us. So don't tell me that the sign is backwards, because I know.
Excellent. So last week, Crystal, I was at the California Hispanic Chambers of Commerce's 37th annual convention. That was phenomenal. We had a lot of businesses there, a lot of great contract providers and prime contractors.
Okay.
It was just great. I facilitated a workshop in the morning on contract readiness, teaching small businesses how to become ready, so that they can bid for contracts and they can access their documents in 10 seconds or less using Small Biz Pro, and also be able to produce their documents on the spot, just like you were just talking about in the previous segment.
Okay.
About, you don't want to date someone and then all of a sudden you're expecting, hey,
yeah, hey,
let's go to the chapel.
Right.
You want to make sure that, you court these people, and by courting them, you want to demonstrate that you're actually ready to get in a relationship with them, that you've got some good qualities, you've got good values, and your core competencies speak for you, and it stands out. So then these people can take that information and make good quality decisions about you. So that's pretty much what that was about. And then right after that, we had I moderated a panel with some of the heavy hitters, the major prime contractors, Pacific Gas and Electric, that's PG&E, and Southern California Edison. You got AT&T. We had Aetna Insurance Company, and we also have the California Small Business, DGS, Department of General Services.
Oh, okay.
For a second, I kind of blanked out on it there.
Okay, wow. That was a great line.
Oh, yeah.
Great businesses there.
Oh, yeah. So we talked a little bit about small businesses. How can small business conduct business with them? What small businesses need to do? Do they have any mentorship programs? Those types of things. So it was a great panel. And we learned a lot about those entities. So now that we've learned that, we want to take that to the small businesses, hold them accountable, make sure they're doing their part, so then we can hold contract providers accountable as well.
Oh, okay. So that's fantastic.
Yes.
So how many participants or how many attendees for the
event altogether? We had about, I would say about 1,500 to 2,000 people there.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, it was for 3 days. So you had Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And the little town of Riverside, California, it was jumping. You know, they got a lot of business out of this. The hotels were all booked out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And how many days?
3 days.
So did you stay for all 3
I
days?
stayed all 3 days.
Oh, okay.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I even stayed until Saturday morning.
Oh, wow.
There's
Okay.
no way I was going to drive from Riverside all the way back home from there, you know.
Yeah,
so.
that's rough. That is really, really rough.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds
So it was
fantastic.
great. It was great. And
What?
we also had a Hispanic Shark Tank.
So how was that? That must have been pretty cool.
That was great. That was great. We had lenders and investors who were ready to put money out there. So we had 5 participants, 5 entrepreneurs who wanted to participate in pitching their business.
Okay. Wow.
And 2 of them got funded.
Oh, really? What were the businesses?
One of them is a marketing company. It's called, what is it called? Engage Marketing or something like that. And one of the owners of that business is one of my strategic partners.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she teaches workshop for me at Edison. And she teaches branding.
Okay.
So-
wow, fantastic.
Oh, yeah. So I was very proud of her. I was very excited. So she's going to be funded by one of the companies there. And Microsoft was also there.
Okay.
And I was talking to Microsoft about us teaming up with Small Biz Pro. So then we could take it global.
Fantastic.
And they were very interested. Yes.
Fantastic.
So we need to schedule a meeting right now. So we're working on that meeting. And once we get that meeting set up, then these small businesses, their businesses are going to be elevated so much.
You know, it's so funny because this week as well, I've gone to several events, and when you're going to a conference, obviously you're going with a goal and wanting some sort of outcome from it, but it requires some planning before you you go, so that you can make sure that you're making those meeting with those people.
Yeah.
Actually, even knowing who's going to be there, so you can be better prepared when you
Exactly.
get there. That you can have those kind of conversations with a
Right,
person, because that may be your only time you'll have to be in a room
For sure.
where they're that accessible to you.
So that's why you always got to be ready with your elevator pitch and also your value proposition. That 10 seconds or less, you want to be able to have that going. And that's what I tell my clients all the time in workshop. You got to be ready. You never know who you might meet in that elevator going from floor 9 to floor 10.
Exactly.
Got to be ready at all times.
Yeah.
So it was pretty good. I mean, some of the pitches that we listened to were, they strayed a little bit. They weren't really focused. One lady, she brought they call it a pitch deck.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah. I have a couple of those.
Yeah. So that pitch deck was really well put together. I think that was a big part of the reason why she got funded.
Oh, okay.
So it was amazing.
The Business Zone has a pitch deck. Did you know that?
Oh yeah, I didn't see that. Where is it?
When I went to when I was becoming a Nifty certified instructor.
Oh, you had to
for
put
the
one
kids,
together?
I had to put one together.
Oh, where is it? You haven't published it?
I haven't published it. I have to send it over to you.
You got to post it on our website. Let me see that.
I haven't sent it, and we also have a nice little pitch. The 30-second elevator pitch for the business owner.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so whenever I'm out, and that's what I pitched last night at the George Frazier event.
You got it ready?
Yeah. But
You want to pitch it right now?
No. We're already here. I got a thumbs up. It was short and sweet and
They
to the
loved
point.
it.
They loved it. They loved it. In
that's
fact,
great.
there's some video on Facebook with me doing it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, Barbara Lindsay put it up
I'm
there.
going to have to check that out. I'm so proud of Crystal. She's just phenomenal. She's just working the rooms, working things, making things happen for us. This is phenomenal.
So audience, let me tell you what happened. So whenever I'm out and about, Gilbert, I'll say I'm with the show, and it's with Crystal and Gilbert, and someone go, I know Gilbert Buchanan. So yesterday, that same thing happened. I had gotten up and done my 30-second pitch, and then I was handing out flyers, and so this lady, we were buying raffle tickets, and this lady said, hey, your co-host is Gilbert Buchanan? I said, yeah. And she says, I'm Barbara Sullivan. I was like, oh, wow. And it's nice to meet you. I've heard so much about you. So those are Gilbert's co-partners. So we met last night.
Yeah, well, Barbara Sullivan, she's my partner. We do a lot of work with PG&E and SoCal Edison, so it was phenomenal.
Yeah, so
I've been telling her about crystals. So
right, and so she's like, you're Crystal, and I was like, you're Barbara. So it was a small world that we're in, and it's really microscopic. To Wednesday night, I also was at a meeting with, I tell you, 10 of the most incredible women. So I'm going to be speaking on October 21st to the 23rd, but I'm only speaking on the Friday on it's called the Bella Network. So this young woman who works for Northrop, she had she said in the corporate world you go to a lot of investment meetings, so to speak, to improve who you are and develop your craft and your skill and to be better people, right? And to be better to provide better services for your company. And so she recognized that that's not available in the entrepreneur world. And not on that level. And so, and this is about women. So it's a conference that's going to be held specifically for all women, for women by women. And I was just so impressed with the when everyone was going around the room telling about themselves. I was like, wow. So her vision is, her name is Alicia, and her vision is, because everybody in the room, and this is the very first time I've been in a room that we've all been coaches. Either life coaches, business coaches, spiritual coaches, just everybody in there. That's what we did. So and there was no duplication in the room. We were all coaches, but no duplication in the room. So she was saying, see, this is what I'm talking about. We could have a huge corporation that all of us serviced our own areas, but we worked together.
That's great.
And it was, again, about us coming together to collaborate and utilize our resources and our skill sets and our talents and to be able to service our population, but at the same time get paid.
That's excellent. I like that.
It was a real powerful.
So when are you guys going to do it again?
So our next meeting is we're still, because the event is going to be happening in October, the third week in October.
Right.
So they're winding down. So I am going to speak on networking.
Oh, excellent. Excellent. That's your strong suit right there.
Yeah.
So they couldn't get a better person to do that.
Right. So it's going to be excellent. It's going to be at a hotel down in Long Beach called the Hotel Maya. Beautiful hotel.
Oh, I know that hotel.
You know that hotel? Yeah, so that's where it's going to be. And and we were talking the other day, and it's interesting because sometimes when we have an event, we think that the event is for everyone. Mm-hmm. And so as she and I were talking and the cost we were talking about the cost of the conference. Well, the costs kind of made it not for everybody, right? And so she was trying to figure out who she had gotten the demographic down to 35 and up, 35 plus. Yeah. But it was a little bit more specific in that because the signups have been slow. So I mentioned to her, she had told me her story. She works for Northrop. She's a chemist. Now this is what we're talking about: chemists, female engineers. One lady, she was the executive recruiter for PG&E, actually. I mean, these were C-suite at the top of their game. Excellent. Now they've become entrepreneurs.
That's great.
And so what I heard in the common thread, I was probably the only one that had been an entrepreneur for such a long time. But most of them had worked in corporate America and had just kind of emerged out into it. So the common thread was it was a tough journey leaving corporate America and working as an entrepreneur.
Yeah, because they're moving from sure salary. They got their fixed salary that's coming in. Now you gotta scrub and
scrape
and battle for revenues.
Revenues.
So now they have to do what we do as entrepreneurs: go out there and you market, and make sure your system is working so it will really result in some revenues. For
exactly. So that was some of the issue they were talking about. So when she said that to me, and I heard that thread come around the room. I was like, you know what? That's your marketplace.
Yeah.
You want to market to women who are exiting out of the corporate world, who have had this burning dream all for years, and now they can create their second act.
Right.
So while they're still working, they have those discretionary funds. They also are already accustomed to going to those kind of workshops and knowing the value of those kind of workshops. And so that's who you need to be talking to.
Right. That's a good point that you gave her. That's good advice. I'm hoping she used it.
She was, and I told her to how she should reach out to get them and create little mini videos and place them on LinkedIn because that's where those people are, and ask them, and tell her story. Basically, be authentic and tell her story.
I need to put some of those videos on LinkedIn myself.
I think you do.
I've been planning on doing it, but I never really got around to it. But you're my official producer, so I'm gonna have to have you help me out with that. So.
See, we have someone on Facebook Live. Her name is Candace. Hey, Candace. Candace says it is tough. Pull the revenue is a long journey, and she was 25 years in corporate America.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. So is Candace planning on becoming an entrepreneur? Or?
Candace, are you an entrepreneur now? You can actually call in to Candace if you want to at 323-293-3375. We'd love to hear from you on this subject, being that. So have you started this journey already, or you got one foot in and one foot out?
Give us a call, Candace.
Yeah, give us a call, Candace, and let us know what your journey is here. Maybe we can help out.
Yes, we'd love to share your story with you.
So anything else going on?
Well, that's pretty much what I've been involved in, and I'm thinking we've got a lot of things going on. I just started the National Latina Business Women Association Business Management Academy in Rancho Cucamonga, and it's an 8-week class. So we started our first class this past Wednesday on September 28th, and it was great. We did capability statement development. So that was really great. We had about 25 participants in the class. We had about 30. But
hold on one second. Candace, the number is 323-293-3375. Candace is a business owner in Culver City.
Oh, excellent,
So
Candace.
she's going to call us and tell us what that business is.
Give us a call, Candace. We're hoping to hear from you.
Okay, I'm sorry. So, and I think, did I see something that you're getting ready to do a workshop at the Urban League?
Yes, we're going to be doing an 8-week class at the Urban League, and a 7-week rather, at the Urban League. And it's going to be on how to become contract ready as a subcontractor.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay, that's good. That's excellent.
Yes.
Okay.
So we're pretty excited. We're looking forward to that, and I'm working with the director over there, and hopefully we'll get this started soon. As a matter of fact, before we launch that, we're going to do a free workshop, like an introductory workshop to the process for 2 hours, and we're going to have all the contractors, business owners, entrepreneurs come in, and we'll give them an overview of what all the courses will entail.
Oh, okay. So, because the other day when I was at, hold on, I'm trying to put the phone number here.
I think we got a call here.
Okay.
So let's take this call.
All righty. Hello, who's there?
Hello, caller, are you there?
Okay. All right.
Candace, if that's you, you could please call again. We really would like to hear from you, okay?
That would be good, because when I was at the meeting before you got here, I was talking about the Black Roundtable series that we're doing in order to hear the voices of Black business owners and what they need and what has been the obstacles, and I've shared that with you. There were a number of people in the audience that were asking those questions. How do I get started? What are the procedures? Who can I go to? And hello, are you back?
Seems as if our caller is back. Caller, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Hi, it's Candace.
Hi, Candace. How are you?
How are you?
I'm great. How are you both doing?
We're doing fine, thank you. Thank you for calling back. We appreciate it.
Yes.
So tell us a little about your business, where you are calling from, and where it's located.
Well, I'm calling from All That and More Boutique here in Culver City. It's
Oh.
a women's clothing and a men's accessory store. and I style women from size 00 to 22.
Oh, wow.
My target audience is women that are either in corporate America, entrepreneurs, transitioning in life, and they just want to enter a room with confidence. So I help them through styling and image consulting as they find nice quality items along the way.
That sounds great, Candace.
Thank you.
How long have you been in business?
I've been in business, I say, 2 plus 4 years.
Oh, wow.
6 years.
2 plus 4.
2 plus 4.
That means there's a story behind the 2 and a story behind the 4, right?
Yes, there is. I had a business partner for 2, and I've been blessed to be solo for 4.
Oh, okay, perfect. Crystal, you have any question for Candace?
Well, actually, so Candace, when I came and spoke at your store,
yes,
with Natalie, which Natalie Goucher. So interesting enough, I was meeting with Natalie about a week and a half ago, and she said, "Crystal, I have this great picture of us when you were over at when you spoke on the panel." And so she just put it up on Facebook like a day or so ago. So it's ironic, right?
Exactly.
And I think, and when I look at the picture, there are like 3 or 4 people in that picture that participated in one of my workshops sometime thereafter.
Exactly, yes. You had a great workshop that followed right after that.
I did. So congratulations, you're still in business. So tell me, so if you were in corporate America for 25 years, what did you do?
I worked for literature distribution for one of the top, was the #1 mutual fund company at the time. Mm-hmm. And I managed their distribution center, and then I transferred over and spent 9 years in their customer service center. And then 2008, 2009, when the industry, the big bubble burst, people lost 43% of their assets under management, they eliminated 10% of their positions, and my position was eliminated.
Wow.
So just like you guys are saying, I was kind of forced into stepping out on faith and pursuing a dream that I had, which was women's clothing and styling and image consultant. I did onboarding at the Capital Group, and I would say, they'd say, "What's your ideal position?" And they'd come to me, and I'm an assistant vice president there, and I would say, "Styling Oprah."
That sounds great. That sounds great. Yes. Now, what are some of the challenges that you're faced with in your business right now, Candace?
Well, just as you were talking about, it's really finding those revenue streams. And, for me, I own the boutique. I'm one of the stylists. And I have student associates assisting me, and I have part-time associates assisting me. And I'm doing the marketing, and I'm doing the accounting, and so really just finding those revenue streams that could help support my business without having to. I'm doing it all myself without having to self-fund.
Right. So you need some infusion of revenue, huh?
Yes.
Well, you're lucky that you called in today, because our guest has just arrived, and she may be able to help you, and she's going to talk all about this program that she has for female, particularly female entrepreneurs, and helping them scale their businesses to the next level. And there's some other resources out there that you probably need to tap in to, and so she's going to offer some amazing input on what that next level would be, because it sounds like that you're probably there. Definitely, in fact, about three earlier in September, we talked about a book called The E-Myth Revisited.
Oh, yeah.
And we talked about businesses that were at their infancy and then moving on into their adolescence and then maturity, and how we wear all the hats. And we're trying to be productive and increase our revenue all at the same time. And we're the janitor, the bottle washer, the the marketer,
everybody,
the HR person.
And the other challenge that I have is that you know those programs are out there. You know those opportunities are out there. You got to get out there to meet and go to the various trainings and seminars and things where you can find the different organizations that will help you, but how do you do that and still open your door?
You're right, exactly. And that's a very good point.
Yeah,
that's one of the challenges that's facing entrepreneurs. They call them solopreneur or something like that.
So there's you had a session this week that was from Central from 9 to 10:30 or 11:30, and I was like, okay, if I get to that, then I could get back to the boutique in time, put a sign in the window.
Yes.
And even the class you had later in the evening, it was like, I think from 7 until 9 or something like that. And it's like, okay, I close at 7. How do you do that? It was only one night a week.
Right.
But you're always balancing that time factor against what could really impact your business. So.
Well, one of the things I'm thinking about, Candace, I think Crystal and I need to do a business assessment on your business. And give you a great analysis of where you are, where you want to be, and how to get there.
Awesome.
So maybe Crystal could set something up with you.
Yeah,
a meeting.
we'll come to you.
Yes.
I would love it.
And that way you won't have to leave, and then we're going to find out how you can actually get some employees. There are actually some programs out there that have apprentices training programs,
Right.
And you can train them, and while you're training them to work for you and helping them develop their own careers, you get 6 months as a for-profit. You get 6 months of free employees, including workers' comp.
Awesome. I've worked with Culver City High School, so I've had some students from Culver City High School, and they had that program as well.
Good.
But they were here 10 hours a week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And then they were here for 4 weeks for 10 hours a week. So
Wow.
it's like, okay, you stop, start.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this program is they would actually be there for 6 months, and then at that point, full time. They can be full time, and they would be there for 6 months, and then after that, they would even you guys are getting a chance to try each other out, and then if you want to hire them, you hire them, and I think there's still some kickback to you for several $100s a month, and I don't know what that time frame is, but there's a couple programs out there like that.
That's wonderful.
And Candace, also, Crystal and I, we teamed up with Mount San Antonio College, and we provide services to them in terms of bookkeeping, payroll, service, and accounting, QuickBooks.
Awesome.
So that could be a service, and we're currently working on rolling out what we call an ETP program. It's called Employment Training Panel.
Okay.
And really what it is, it helps the employer provide their staff and have them obtain training from the program. And we could also talk to you about that and see how we can get you involved.
Well, I am definitely open to all that and more.
Okay.
Definitely. I appreciate you calling in, Candace.
Thank you for creating such an amazing platform.
Thank
it's right
you.
on time.
Thank you. Make sure you subscribe to our program, though.
Okay.
Okay. Crystal, you want to tell her how?
Yeah, so you can go to One Morris Media Live to watch the show while we're broadcasting live, and then you can go to our YouTube channel and then subscribe there, and then when I upload it to that platform, then you'll get a notification that we uploaded a new video. And also subscribe to Morris Media Live. There's a studio here that is absolutely amazing. And Candace, you might be interested in having a podcast when we get you some employees, of course.
Yes.
on styling, since you're a stylist, that would be a great venue for you to drive traffic back to your store.
Definitely. I saw all of that. Natalie posted the information. I saw your live stream, so I jumped on this morning. I'm like, ooh, right in between a customer. This is great. So, yes, I see what you're doing, Crystal, and I'm going to go follow all your channels so I can stay connected and get all the tidbits you're offering.
Can you see me now, Candace? Can you see me? Am I on there?
No, you're not over here.
No, you're not. I see Crystal.
There
I'm still watching live.
There he is.
Can you see me now?
Wait, hold on. I hit the wrong button here. But, yeah, you guys, thank you so much.
Not a problem.
For providing such an amazing, platform and what you're doing for small businesses, and it's going to have such a huge impact.
Thank you.
We just have to be able to reach and touch you.
Definitely.
And I know you guys are going to make a difference. So
Thank you.
We
want to be that voice for small businesses. We're the advocates, so we want to help you to elevate your business, your performance, take it to the next level. Okay?
Thank you.
All righty. Make sure that you reach out to me. I don't know if I have a phone number on you, so if you can inbox me on Facebook, that would be fantastic, and I can call you. All right.
And
Okay,
tell
thank
your
you so
friend,
much.
tell your friends to call in also.
Oh, definitely. There's some local. I work with 15 local designers here
There
in
you
Los
go.
Angeles, California, that will be tapping in and calling you guys.
Right. We're looking forward to hearing from all 15 of them.
Yes, you will.
Okay,
thank
Candace.
You.
Thank you
Bye-bye.
for calling in. Hey, Maria, how are you? Glad
Thank
you're
you.
watching. And guess what? Gilbert, our guest is here.
Oh, excellent.
And we're so excited. And
Excellent.
that conversation we just had, she
Yeah.
probably has some
Great
amazing-
transition into
Yeah.
that, right?
Yeah.
So why don't we go ahead and take a quick break,
and
and
then-
we could bring up our guest, and we could share a lot of great resources.
All right. Sounds fantastic.
Excellent. So take a break.
BizPro is a cloud-based, all-in-one business management, procedure, and market research system that is uniquely designed to help minority business owners become business-ready, contract-ready, and bank loan-ready. This powerful tool makes running your business a very simple and easy process. SmallBiz Pro provides immediate access to key documents in 10 seconds or less, so no more searching for those important documents when you need them. It gives business owners a sense of order and confidence. Are you ready to become business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready? Then log into smallbizpro.net and get your limited free trial of SmallBiz Pro today.
And we are back at the Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert, and our guest that's going to be here today, and we're going to talk about how to scale growing strategies to scale your business. But we want to thank Candace for calling in, and we encourage everyone else to call in. She's got some great little freebies there. And then we're going to sit down and talk to her on how to do some things before she gets to that scale point. And we're going to find out exactly where she is in her business.
And you too could get some freebies by calling us too about your business. So make sure you call us at 323-293-3375.
Right, and go to our YouTube channel and subscribe, and go to our Facebook page and like us. So we are fortunate to have Ms. Kim Folsom here. She is the co-founder and CEO of Founders First Capital Partners, LLC, a revenue participating accelerator and venture fund. Ms. Folsom is an accomplished high-tech executive and serial entrepreneur with 25 plus years of experience growing innovative technology companies. She has extensive experience founding, leading, and building startups for which she raised $30 million in venture financing. She either founded or was a key executive of the following ventures: Show You How, yeah, and Drive Cam, and Seminar Source. Prior to this entrepreneurial stage in her career, Ms. Folsom was an executive at the National Dispatch Center, the Loose Forward, Altel Systematics, and Great American First. Folsom earned her MBA degree from the University of Pepperdine and a bachelor degree in information systems with a minor course in economics from San Diego State University. And we are so happy to have you here.
I am delighted to be here. Thanks so much for the opportunity to participate. I've been looking forward to this. So
Thank you for joining the show, Kim.
Thank you.
I was really excited when Barbara Lindsay referred you over to me. She said, you just have to have her on the show. Just have to have her. So I was very excited that we could come, we could find a date, because you're a busy lady.
It's been a really hectic few months, but I feel truly blessed with the activity.
Oh, good. So why don't you tell us what Founders First Capital Partners is? What is
Okay. Well, great. Well, what Founders is as you had included in my bio a revenue participating accelerator and venture capital fund, and that probably sounds like a whole lot.
Yeah, it sounds like a whole lot. So in poor man's term, what does that mean?
There's so many, like either incubator, accelerator, that type of thing. So what we do is really help companies grow. We do three things. One, we want to teach them how to grow. Secondly, we want to fund them. And then we want to help them actually with growing, providing resources, how to connect with customers, how to hire people, how to develop the people they hire, and then also how to improve their finances.
Oh, okay. Wow. I didn't know these. You know these occur in other ethnicities.
Right. And that's really it. So that's the one piece of what we do. And then the other is we're a venture fund. So there are three, as you talk about the majority, there are three accelerators that are by far the best. One of them is Techstars. The other one is 500 Startups.
Okay.
And the third is Y Combinator. That's where companies like Airbnb and a number of the very, very hot what's called unicorn companies gone through.
Do you mind repeating those three again?
Y Combinator.
I know about them.
Techstars.
Okay.
And the third is 500 Startups.
Oh, okay.
So a number of very popular, as I said, like Uber went through those, Airbnb, those companies went through an accelerator like that. And they're considered like the Ivy League of accelerators. There's about 1,500 accelerators right now.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so, you can think of it as, colleges. There's all kinds of colleges, but everybody knows the Ivy League, Harvard, Stanford,
right,
those
exactly.
schools. Those accelerators are like the Harvard, Yale, and Stanford of accelerators.
So the Y Combinator, what does that mean? Generation Y? Is that what it is?
It's a function of taking entrepreneurs and investors, combining them to solve a problem, and helping them grow. That's what the Y Combinator is about.
So are they mostly, because my girlfriend and I have a business that we're going to be launching, and we've been looking for funding and looking at some of the accelerators that are out there, and it's a men's grooming salon, upscale. So, but a lot of the ones that we had actually researched were all for tech businesses.
That's correct.
Most of them are
and
for
most
tech.
of them are for tech businesses.
Okay.
That's where their real focus is. Tech
Okay.
and some software, hardware, that. And that, is where I started as an entrepreneur.
Okay.
I started my career as a software engineer, and then went from that environment, running somebody else's company, and then went out on my own.
Okay.
But with going back to our story and what we're doing is, one, we're accelerators, so we teach you, we fund you, and then we actually help you with growth. So the other piece of what we do is, for a certain group in our accelerator, we actually provide them with funds as well.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So what's the scale of your funding?
So we are the performance of our fund is to be able to fund folks between $50,000 to $500,000.
Okay.
And it's not, all at once. It is, based on performance. So initially it could be anywhere from $50,000 to $100,000, and then based on their performance, we'll provide additional
So
funding.
it could be done in progress payments.
It's progress in fundings.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, because that's really the basis of the accelerators, right? Is you're there, and as you're going through the process and being educated, you're still running your business, right?
Right.
And then as you get to different levels, then you're infusing the funds for them, right?
And so how we start working with these companies is through our boot camp.
Okay.
We run a boot camp 3 times a year, and our mission is to teach these companies how to create a growth plan. A few things unique about our accelerator. One, we focus on the underserved market, where you talked about it's mostly someone else. And we also focus on companies that are service that could have a tech enablement to them. So service or technology-enabled service businesses. Third, we focus on established businesses. We don't focus on businesses that are startup.
Okay.
The businesses that we work with have been revenue generating, I would say at least 18 months to 2 years.
Okay.
Because they need to be at a certain level for us to really add significant value. Our fund is what's considered a royalty or revenue-based fund. If you ever watch Shark Tank and you see the bald guy in the middle, Mr. Wonderful,
Yes. Yes.
that's the method that he does most of his funding, which is royalty or revenue-based. So basically, for every dollar of revenue you generate, you pay us a small percentage to pay us back.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
So
okay.
that's how we fund companies. Is
Okay, so that's why one of the reasons they need to be already revenue generating, so that I got it.
Yeah, and the other element is we focus on businesses that have generally $250,000 to $2 million in revenues that may not be able to get bank financing, and they're not. Service businesses traditionally don't get equity financing.
Okay, right, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
But those are the businesses that are run by our folks.
Yeah.
Women, ethnic minorities, veterans, they generally, most businesses are service-based businesses.
Yeah, because they're easily to get into. The entry can be.
There's a huge need. There's a lot of really great service businesses. And if you can add a few components of intellectual property to them, best practices, they can scale to be great businesses.
Yeah. So do you have an accelerator within this LA area?
So we are not an incubator.
Okay.
An incubator is generally you actually put people in a place.
Okay.
We are not that. There are a lot of incubators. We want to work with people that are already in an incubator, but we actually conduct our boot camp online. So it's a 10-week program. So you go on to our online platform, you participate, you get a one-on-one coach, and you actually, with each segment, it's a module. First, how to create a business that's 10x where you are today. That's where we start from module 1. The next is sales. The other is how to market it. The third is operations, as you were talking about with your earlier caller.
Right.
How do you actually deliver on your promise from your process and people that role, how to delegate, setting up that, and then we have 2 sessions on. One is how to hire people, and secondly, for the people you hire, how to grow them and develop them so that they can stay with you. The next sessions are, one is about recurring revenue, because you want to have predictable revenue that helps you be a much more sustainable business.
Okay.
And then the last ones are about money. How to manage your money, how to use other people's money to grow your business.
Oh, okay.
How to count your money.
So let me ask this. So that boot camp still is based upon those in technology?
No.
So that could be...
All our businesses that are in our boot camp are service-based
businesses. And it's online. So Candace, did you hear that?
Is your website online right now? That
it is.
We can access.
I saw it earlier.
What's the website?
Our site is Founders First Capital Partners.
Founders First Capital
Partners.com.
It's pretty long, huh?
Yeah.
So, when a person what would be, I guess, the steps to starting or getting in the mindset to scale your business? When a business is infancy, obviously they're doing what, you've got your equipment, and Candace's say she has a retail store. So she's gotten and she's making sales and she has customers. So now as she's at that place, and I was at yesterday at the conference, I think someone asked that question, when do you know you're ready to scale to that next level?
As someone who's raised an amount of capital, venture capital, with the other guys that I went to college with and worked with, you have to start with the end in mind. You can't wait till you hit the wall.
Right.
You've got to go through and say, I'm building a business that's 5, 10, 20 million, and then you work backwards.
Yeah.
Oh,
you can't go at it where I'm just going to be me and then go at it that way. So you start with, I'm going to build $1 million business, and for me to build $1 million business, I'm going to sell these types of products if it's a retail business. And then for this product, who am I going to get it from? And how do you go through the whole, what's called a value chain of taking it from, this is the concept of the product, and then delivering it to the customer, and what are all the steps that are in between there. And then which steps am I going to do? Which steps is somebody else going to do? And then you re-look at that on a frequent basis until you get it to a well-smoothed engine.
Okay. And if you're going out the gate with $1 million business, then that means obviously you need to have a team.
Yes, and that is really the core of what we focus on.
Okay.
We focus on building employer-based businesses.
Right.
Because employer-based businesses are multi-million-dollar businesses.
Right. Yes.
That's where you have to start with that mindset. If you have a product, you know how much that product costs. You know how much that product sells for. If you're saying you're going to build $1 million business, you take that $1 million, divide it by the sales price, and that tells you how much you've got to sell. And then you just go through and say, okay, this is how much it costs, and this is what I got to do to go through it. And I know in order to sell 1 million of something,
Right.
it can't just be me.
It cannot be you. So are you guys listening to that? Because a lot of our small businesses, a lot of the people yesterday when we were at George Fraser, most of them are they're solo premieres. And I had been at a meeting. There's a conference that we're doing. In fact, I can show you what we've been doing, a series of roundtable meetings, and the whole purpose is to create a African American capital fund for our businesses, just like they have the Jewish Federation and the Jewish Fund and the Asian and so forth. They've identified $10 million of the fund from black lenders across the country, and so the balance $5 million, because it's going to be a $15 million fund. The balance is coming in from the Milliken Group Institute. So what they wanted to do was hear the voices of the small business owners, the underserved business owners, what has been their obstacles and their challenges to find funding and capital so that they can have employees. So we had a meeting in Inglewood at City Hall, and we had about 125, 130 people. So we were getting feedback. We had a four-person panel, and then we were getting feedback from the individuals. And every one of them stood up and said, I have been in business for 5 to 10 years, and I have been doing this by myself.
And some of it is being able to get other perspectives of how to do it.
Right.
You know how to satisfy a customer.
Right.
It's just going through and creating an engine of how to do it.
Right.
And it's not just about you.
Yes.
It's people.
It's
work.
people.
It's how to work with people, because at the end of the day, it's working with people.
Yeah. And that's what we were basically telling them, that you can't run a business just by yourself.
Right. But it is a paradigm shift.
It is.
And there are lots of soft skill related issues, because it's trust.
Yes.
It's letting go. It's, do they have as much interest in it as I do? And, you're going to have to trust somebody else.
Right, exactly.
And the other side of it is, no, they're not going to treat your baby like you do. That's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Right.
Because, you're the owner. If it goes really well, you see the biggest benefit. But you can share enough, specific chunks of the business opportunity with some individuals so they can get bought into it. And so, what we do with founders is, we target folks that have got maybe 3 to 5 employees by the time they're at that $250,000, and our goal is to help them grow to be a 20 to 50 employee business.
Oh, okay.
Because when you grow to that point, there's different stages that your business goes through as you go through different steps.
Okay. So we have a couple. Candace says, yes, I needed an engine and the gas to fuel the engine. And then we had someone else said, me too. And someone, trust is huge. And what else we got going on here? And then Candace is actually online, and she put your website up on.
Thank you.
So they're they're having a good time.
Thank you.
And I'm not sure how to pronounce this. I think it's Tushanta Horgan. She says, great advice.
Thank you.
So if you guys, you can call in to 323-293-3375, and I'm sure Kim would love to answer any of your questions. So call us. And Candace just had a great time. And how do you maintain, somebody just asked the question, how do you maintain and gain trust?
So it's first, again, being able, there's 2 pieces. One is vision. If I said to you, you can have $1 million business, you can have a $5 million business, you'd probably think, oh gosh, that doesn't sound possible. But if you look at your business, let's say that your annual revenues today are 100,000 or 250,000. The first is being able to you visualize it, and the quickest way of doing it is add another zero on there. You add another zero on there, you got $1 million. And so that's the visualized piece of it.
Right, exactly.
Then you got to marry it with the structure.
Right, okay.
And that's what got to what I was sharing with you. In order to be that $1 million business, let's say that you have a product that costs $100. You know, you take that $100 times 1,000 or so, and then that gets you to $1 million. So that's what the sales price is, and then you go through and say it maybe cost me $35 to make it, and so,
right.
you know, and then it's going through, we have tools that we provide them to actually do all of that structure, and then, okay, hiring people. You know, there's guidelines about hiring people.
Yeah, California is really they're very intensive about the hiring of the people.
and there's the regulations, but there's also people, you
right.
know? And the reality is, if you don't set the expectation of what you want from that person, not just hiring them, but what's their first day going to be like? What's their first week going to be like? What's the first 30 days and 90 days? And what outcome? That person is, I mean, sometimes people are hesitant to hire people because it's like, you know, I just see it as taking money and lighting it on fire.
Yeah.
Because, you know, they're going to cost me X, Y, Z, and they're not going to do what I need them to do. Well, before you know, bring them on, you tell them, these are the outcomes that I
right.
need. And make certain that there's a meeting of the minds, and you know that's clearly understood beforehand, before you hire them. Many times people hire people and think, well, they're just going to figure it out, and that doesn't.
Right, exactly, because there's training. In fact, I have a client, and I'm sure you've got tons of clients, but I do a lot of QuickBooks training, and so I'll go on site to do that. And I have had a client that I came in and trained his employees. You know, obviously, because this is what I do for a living, so I could observe that some of them this wasn't where they were best suited, and he had no idea. So they were everybody just kind of figuring it out. So of course,
and you bring up a good point. It's hire, it's training. It's
yes.
not just bring them on and they'll figure it out.
Right.
Because their figure it out is not the way you did it.
Exactly.
So,
or you expect it to
exactly.
happen. So,
and so you've got to set those expectations. Training is critical because, you know, when you don't train, it costs you. That's when it's lighting.
And they don't know, I don't think they recognize that it, you know, to train a person, it's better to train a person than to bring them in and keep having to go back out and rehire.
Right.
Because that's costing
costly.
you, that's costing
costly.
you money.
Right.
Not just in advertising and so forth to bring that person in, but you're going through that cycle, that learning curve each and every time. And so finally, this client of mine, he had one of his employees left, and he's like, oh my God, I'm always at this place. And I said, well, I guess we need to then, if you're always at this place and you've gone through this process 4 times, now I don't have to ask who you're hiring. I have to ask what is going on in the hiring process, because obviously you don't know what you're looking for, and you need to identify that before you hire your next employee.
Right. And the onboarding process and giving them that feedback.
Right.
And sometimes that is hard for people to give people less than spectacular news, but you have to do it. And sometimes it's maybe practicing with a friend, saying,
exactly.
you know, this person is having this particular issue, I'm going to share this. Because the other factor is you just invested in hiring that person.
Right.
Just like he said, I don't want this person to go, but so then you need to go through and say, you know, I hired to do these 3 tasks.
Right.
You know, this task you did really well, this task not so good, but this is the things I need you to learn how to do.
Right.
But it takes the time, and it takes a way of being able to have a civil conversation. So
exactly. Or constructive.
Exactly.
It can be constructive criticism and say, okay, maybe I need to find some training for you.
Right.
Or maybe we can get a extension course that we can invest. I can invest in you going to, and I'm willing to do that. Are you willing to do that? At least you're meeting on a common,
right.
in a common space.
The ideal is that you set that up front.
Right.
that you've gone through and said, these are the outcomes. In order for them to do these outcomes, it could be you're going to do payroll for someone, or you're going to do accounts payable, or you're going to create some spreadsheet. What skills do they need to do that? And make certain as part of that interview process, you've given them enough tests or examples so that you know they have that skill.
Exactly. The contract that Gilbert was saying that we fulfill for Mount SAC is actually a partnership with our cohorts, our Los Angeles County Education Office of Education and Mount SAC, and that's where the classes are facilitated. And then I come in and I teach them QuickBooks, but the program is set up for those individuals that are on the county services systems. And so they've recognized that they're not going to get off the system if they don't have some sort of skills. So they send out a flyer and anybody interested in bookkeeping. So this is our third time. Yeah, we've been doing it almost 2 years. It's been 2 years.
Third time.
Third time. And so I'm teaching them QuickBooks. And so I teach 3 days a week there, and it's an 11-week program. Started at 12, we're at 11. And so I'm teaching them. So I started it with accounting, the basic understanding of accounting, bookkeeping, and then QuickBooks. And then we're now in the payroll module. So when we're done, these individuals will get a certificate saying that they know how to use QuickBooks. And then they're also learning soft skills on how to be an employee and what they're required and what their expectations, what the expectations of them working there. And in addition to that, they're learning Microsoft and Excel. So they go to school 5 days a week. And then at the end, then we find placement for them. And so we've been pretty lucky. We got a 95% placement rate.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
And those skills are much needed. I mean, unfortunately, small businesses go through accounting staff too frequently,
Yes.
and that's very critical.
There are several reasons for that. One, they don't recognize what they need. Two, the people they get, they either don't treat them the right way, so those folks will end up leaving because people are always looking for better opportunities and better conditions. And then the third one is the person who came in with the skill probably doesn't know how to apply it well.
Right.
And one of the things that we've seen and we've taught about in our workshops is when we're talking about the methods of accounting, there are two methods of accounting. You got the cash basis and the accrual basis. And many bookkeepers do not know that. You see what I mean? They're the ones who are supposed to know it.
Right.
Yeah.
So we've come across that. So after some of them have been trained and come to these employers, they lack those skills. So then they have to go.
And that's the most important, especially your back office, understanding where the money is coming from. I've gone in and helped companies switch over their accounting system over to QuickBooks because whatever they had wasn't working. And I've been able to identify right away, I don't think this person has the skills that you thought they had. Because when I'm just speaking, we haven't even done anything yet, and I'm speaking in accounting terminology, and they're looking at me blankly, they don't have an accounting degree. If they don't know the basic, the difference between accrual and cash and profit and loss statements and that kind of stuff. No, they don't have an accounting degree. So I've had a couple of clients like, wow, they told me, well, it's not about a told. You're supposed to be checking backgrounds and so forth. There's been a question, how do you find help on building an employee manual?
There are, there's lots of really great resources out there, from different magazines, be it Inc. magazine, Entrepreneur magazine, that can give you guidance with regards to employee manuals, hiring tips, and those particular.
Okay, so
question is though, do they want free manual or they want consultants like ourselves to develop it for them?
And that's the other side of it.
Right.
You're going to, you got to pay to play,
Yeah, you do.
And when you have an employee, you want them to be productive, then you need to tailor it to your organization. Just as you
Exactly.
talked about, accrual versus cash, you need to be able to provide those elements as part of the interview process. The role is in accounting. We're accrual-based accounting. Our accounting year, our fiscal year, is either January to December or June to July, but all that has to be communicated up up front.
Right. In fact, that's what I tell my students. I say, like, okay, when you go in and you're going to be hired, this is what I'm going to ask you. Because the first week or so, you're in an exploratory mode, and they're in exploratory mode. I said, so ask them for their chart of accounts. So when you do actually start working, you'll see where and what, and then you need to know whether they're working on a calendar year or fiscal year, and then you want to just peruse and ask them, can you just look through the system to see, so you can become familiar. So before they throw you in the fire, you've asked them very key things, because it's important to know where you're going to post this information and what type of business that they're doing, and understand their business. Because different businesses perform differently,
right?
And so, so that's one of the things that I've been teaching them, so that when they go in, they're not. So, in addition to their soft skills, I'm giving it from the accounting side what they're going to be looking for. And when I do the quizzes and so forth, it's all geared to what they're going to be asked when they take that qualifying exam for a test or a quiz, when they're looking to be, because they got to go through that process anyway.
Right,
There's
they're
no way.
actually applying those skills in a real life.
Right, and that's the difference between me teaching it and then just an academic teaching it, because I'm actually, this is my business. This is what I've done for almost 30 years. So I've been using QuickBooks since they started. So I understand the program. So that's pretty much why we can say we've had the 80 to 95% higher rate.
Congratulations!
Because of the fact that they're learning it that way.
Now there's 4 minutes.
Well, we have a call.
4 minutes before our next break, but we do have a call right now. So let's take this call, and then we'll talk about the break. Hello, caller. Are you there?
Yes, I am.
Yes. Tell us your name and where you're calling from, please.
My name's Lamont A. Coleman, and I'm from Biblical Films Network, the BFN.
Oh, excellent. Well, welcome to the show, Lamont.
Thank you. Thank you. I also have my vice president, Denver Dowridge, here, and one of my editors, cinematographer, and partner, Mr. Isaiah White.
All righty. Thank you. Wow. So you have a question for us?
Well, pretty much I was talking about, I was basically to talk about the issues that are going on in the entertainment industry and what we're trying to do.
Okay, well, tell us a little bit about it, and let's see if we can help to resolve some of that for you.
Well, right now I would say one of the things that we're trying to do in the BFN, especially by what our mission statement is, we have been trying to bring to theater and film more of the morals and the family values that have been basically taken out by the current productions and stuff. With us at the Biblical Film Network, we have been really emphasizing working more with the youth when we talk about the morals and the family values. I know today when you talk anything spiritual, even put God in, especially in the entertainment industry, people turn the other way, or they don't really, have that much interest.
That's
true.
What
we're trying to do is, like again, with one of our mission statements, we're repairers of the breach. We're trying to, be that gateway to still bring them in an entertainment way.
Okay, so here's what I would like to suggest here, Lamont. In every organization, there are core values, because we all have core values, and as you know, our core values are developed when we're little kids. 3, 4, 5, 6-year-old from our parents, our family. So I'm sure you've got that, and I'm sure your organization has some core values that you've established as well. So what you could do is have a list of those core values, and then the people you interface with, when you interview them, you try to see whether or not they harbor those types of core values. So then from the gate, from the jump start, you will know whether or not those folks are measuring up or in alignment with what your core values are before you can move forward. Now, in our workshops, we teach people how to develop those core values. So that's one of the things we could probably send out to you. And I'll have Kim also address some of this, because I'm sure she's done this in many of her boot camps, as well as Crystal. But do you understand what I'm saying on that?
Yes. Can you elaborate on the workshop?
Well, we have workshops that we do with SoCal Edison. We have some with, we call them CBOs, community-based business organizations. That's with the National Latina Business Women Association, NABO, which is National Association of Women Business Owners, a variety of different entities, LA Urban League. Where is your office located again?
We're located in Burbank.
Burbank. Okay, so you're close by. So what we could do, we could let you know when we're having another workshop so we can get you involved, because the core value piece is very critical to your business survival and its operation. And I'm just going to share a quick story with you. The Japanese culture, whenever they're doing business with anyone, core values is one of the first things they look at. And if you don't share the same core values, they have nothing to do with you. So that's something I would like to put out there so a lot of entrepreneurs can start looking at. But I'll have my co-host Crystal also share her opinion, as well as our guest Kim.
We're going to let Kim go.
Well, our take on core values is also what are showstoppers, what behaviors that are just not acceptable, and make certain that those are, as you said, communicated at the point of interview. Mm-hmm. You know, if someone's not going to pick up the phone after after a certain period of time, if they're not going to collaborate, communicate, they're not willing to train, they're not willing to change hats, find those things out ahead of time, because those are critical as part of your core values. So often core values are these high aspirational elements, but you also have to go through and say, things that are just not acceptable.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I would concur with that. You set the standard for your business,
right?
And that goes from the top down to the bottom. And I personally think in today's business world, that has been lost in the core values and coming from the top. So the top is the example. So we take some of our corporations out there that have been in trouble of late. Certain banks have been in trouble of late. Where is that starting?
Well, there needs to be a connection between the top and the bottom. Too often it's like, okay, well, this role, these small people are going to interview them, and that's it, as opposed to having that connectivity all the way through. There are still some large companies, not a lot, that, regardless of what the position is, they make certain that there's someone at the C-suite that's also interviewing the person in the front lines and making certain that there's a clear connection to what happens and what doesn't happen.
And that's important because they're representing your company.
Yes.
So when you're not in your company, then these individuals who are your employees are representing you. So you want to make sure you are all on the same page. Everybody knows what the vision of the company is, what the core values of the company are, and everybody's in line with that. And maybe that means from time to time you need to revisit it. You need to have a company meeting and everybody's revisiting what our core values are.
Right. And even to the point where it's not just at the company meeting, it's part of your communication on an ongoing basis, that when you look at you're working to get a new customer, make certain that the practices you use are what your core values are. I mean, just as you referenced the bank, if that discussion would happen as to how you acquire new customers and how you don't acquire new customers, perhaps that wouldn't happen.
Perhaps that wouldn't happen, as of thinking we're operating in silos and nobody's ever going to catch up to what we're doing. So I think that's important. And Lamont, I think when you're doing something on a spiritual basis or religious basis, and you operate a little bit like a nonprofit. If this is what we stand for and this is what our missions and goals are, then that has to be exhibited both with our customers and as well as our internal staff and all the individuals that are working in the company, even our subcontractors. If you have contractors coming in, they all have to understand this is the mission and the goal of our organization. And
so go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that was basically what
So with that being said, Lamont, just to put icing on the cake here, here's what I'd like to suggest to you right now. I would like you to make a list of 10 core values that's very important to you and your organization. It could be honesty is one of them, competency, integrity, accuracy, loyalty, diversity, dedication, excellent, teamwork. If those are some of your key core values, I want you to list those. And then once you list those 10 core values, I want you to rank them in order of priority. So whichever comes first. So if you feel like honesty comes first, you check that as number 1. You feel like teamwork comes second, you check that as number 2, and you go all the way down. So when you're meeting with these folks in an interview or a basic conversation session, you want to ask them, what are your core values and how do you rank them? So then you can see if those are in line with yours, because if they're not in line, then you may not have a very good fit. You know, they may come up with 10 totally different core values that may not be yours. Now, some of those you may be able to work with, others you may not, but you want to really know what they are. That's what I would suggest to you, Lamont.
Again, don't get me wrong, when we do interview with people, even our customers, because she's right, we're a spiritual-based organization.
Oh, yeah.
We're following basically Galatians 10, the characteristics of a Christian.
Uh-huh.
We state that.
Mm-hmm.
One thing, just because we're in Hollywood a lot and we do film production
right.
and television production,
right.
we'll say, yeah.
Right.
And they get into our home. I call our company our home.
Right.
Then they try to take, I say, those secular, those commercial ways.
Right.
They slowly come out, trying to then exhibit basically what they felt we should do and or what they thought it was.
Right.
It's very clearly that we are biblical films,
right,
based. And again, from my staff on down, we pray 3 times a day. Our staff, our productions are all spiritually based.
Right.
People are just trying to find whatever way they can, and then that's where the controversy begins.
So maybe what you could do in that case then, Lamont, is do a memorandum of understanding between you and them to say, this is what our core values are. You're coming on board with us to participate in our environment, our activities, and you're pledging that you're going to abide by these core values. Are you agreeing? You see what I mean? Have them sign that memorandum of understanding.
Again, for Mr. White, we do give him our policy procedure book, which is with all that.
Which is great.
Again, the sad part is that, I don't know, it's just people these days, they right now people don't want to hear God, or they have a problem with morals, and they feel it's just strictly business.
Right.
Morals and God is left at home, but when you step out that door, you're in the world.
Well, one of the things that Crystal and I can do with you, Lamont, is to do a sit down. You said you're in Burbank. We could come to your place, we could do a sit down with you, and we could go over some of these things, and we can look at your standard operating procedures to see what you have and see how you have it set up, and we can move forward on that. But
you can also go to our website, biblicalfilms.org,
uh-huh.
get a total overview of our company and all the productions. We're launching our TV channel, which will be on January the 7th, and we'll be in 3 different markets, Fresno, from Sacramento to even L.A., with the different programmings that we are showing, from Cookies and Crime, one of our kids shows, all dealing moral-based. It's like Law and Order, but it's dealing with, stealing and how to lie.
We'll take a look at it, and we'll take a look at it, see what it's about. But we truly, truly appreciate you calling in, participate in our conversations today, and hopefully what we've said here today can shine some light on where you want to go and how you want to handle it, okay?
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. And keep on listening, okay?
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
All righty. Thank you, Lamont. So
you want to take a quick break?
Yeah. We'll do a little break and then we'll finish up.
Okay. So we'll take a break and we'll come back in 2 minutes. But remember, our phone number is 323-293-3375. That's 323-293-3375. This is the Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert.
BizPro is a cloud-based, all-in-one business management, procedure, and market research system that is uniquely designed to help minority business owners become business-ready, contract-ready, and bank loan-ready. This powerful tool makes running your business a very simple and easy process. SmallBizPro provides immediate access to key documents in 10 seconds or less, so no more searching for those important documents when you need them. It gives business owners a sense of order and confidence. Are you ready to become business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready? Then log into smallbizpro.net and get your limited free trial of Small Biz Pro today.
License insurance.
Oh, back.
Are we back?
Yeah.
Wow, that was fast.
That was a stealth move there. So
Our engineer's on her job today, man.
we're back on the Business Zone, and Crystal and Gilbert here, and we're just talking a little bit about managing your paperwork and record keeping, which is also a part of Kim's program, helping those businesses to become more efficient.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So, Kim, what would you say would be like 5 simple or beginning steps for a business to start contemplating if they were going to start scaling their business, or they're in that place where they need to be scaling their business up?
So, if it's okay with you, I'm going to answer this a different way.
So, by all means.
And again, it's bringing back to the VC-funded methodology of before you're scaling, if you will. If you think of again, starting with the end in mind, okay? If you're looking to either grow to be either 1, 2, 5, 10, whatever business, then you start scaling. And it's interesting, that term. So many people use scaling, but for venture capitalists, in order to get millions of dollars of investment, scaling to them means you're generating revenue, 6 to 7 figures monthly. That's what scaling means.
So
That's good to know.
So, to most small businesses, scaling means you have a predictable revenue stream and you're growing 10, 15% month over month. It could be that you're 5 figures, in that point. To some other people, scaling means, I'm growing and, I'm continuing to grow faster than I was the prior month. But it's scaling is that way. Generally, scaling has a accelerated revenue component to it. You're making more revenue one month versus the other. But to get to that point, you need to have, a solid idea, a product or service to deliver against that. Customers, more than one, multiple customers that are buying whatever it is that you are selling. And they're paying you money to do that. And they're doing it on a regular basis. And when you got those 5 things in place, then you can start talking about scaling. But unfortunately, so many people are like, well, I'm scaling but it's more, I'm burning money and I need more money to burn. And you really have to focus on getting somebody to like what you're doing enough to pay you, and to pay you enough that with multiple increases of it, you're going to have a comfortable quality of life. I mean, and that's really what it comes down to. When you have that multiple $million business, then you are in a different, they still have issues, but it's an easier path than, I'm still just trying to eke out, just selling one thing at a time. And so that may mean that you're going to start a little slower, and that you're going to maybe get uncomfortable because somebody's going to tell you your baby's ugly. And you're just going to have to feel bad for a day, suck it up, and then just go right back out there. And even ask them, well, you have this problem. What would solve that problem for you? And it may not be what you first thought it was. But if you keep that conversation going with them, they're going to tell you because they have a problem and they don't want to solve it.
Right. Yeah, and sometimes you have to be open to you have to be open to criticism.
As entrepreneurs, you have to be.
Yeah, you just can't assume that everybody loves your baby or your idea or your concept. You hear so many times people's like, but I can't do it that way because this is not how I created it. It was like this, and this is. And
you have to decide: is it just you, or is it that you are looking at this being a business that you're going to be able to solve a big problem for a certain percentage of the market, and and scale. That's what.
Right.
Now, let me ask this question real quickly, Kim. I know that you have a certain range that you look for within certain entrepreneurs. But what about the ones that don't measure up to that? What about the ones that generate less than 500,000? They generate 100,000 a year in sales. Do you refer them somewhere else?
We find out about other services and we refer them to folks.
Because I'm thinking many of the entrepreneurs that are listening and watching this program right now, they may not measure up to the 500,000 to, say, $1 million category. So they might be thinking, this is not for me. But we want to make sure at least we can point them somewhere else.
Yeah, and our group is 250 to 2 million, so it's a little closer to that. But we'll, if we find out other resources, then we'll point them. And sometimes it may be books. Sometimes it may be asking you to invest in a coach to help you get there. But you can't try to solve all these problems by yourself. I mean, unfortunately, because of what we're doing, I do get people that are less than the 250, and it's like, gosh, I really would like the help. And it's like, my advice to you is, find somebody who says they're a coach. They should have strong financial background, such as you all yourself. They should have experience helping companies go from where they are to where they want to go. And then if you do that, then that's part of the journey. That's how you get there. And you can't do it all by yourself.
Now, do you have a list of successes that you have on your site? Say, these are companies that went through our program and they're doing great today. Do you have
let me just share with you, most of my successes have been my personal ones. I have my 6 prior companies where I raised $30 million for. I took them from idea, a few of them from idea to exit, and some of them were not idea to exit. Our goal is our mission is to help fund 1,000 companies and help them, be able to hire sufficient enough jobs, 20 jobs each, so that it's a $1 billion impact. I'm excited to share we're now down to 999.
Okay.
Last month we helped a company get $300,000 in funding, and they're going to get access to $2 million.
Oh wow!
Is that going to be like a line of credit available to them?
It's performance based. So their first infusion was $300,000, and based on some additional performance, they'll be able to get access to another $300,000 to $400,000 and so forth. Let me tell you about the profile of that company. African-American entrepreneur. He had an app. It was basically Pandora for exercise.
Oh, wow.
Million users, 2 million in revenue. He wanted to hire some engineers and marketing, and we were able to connect him through our network. But for us, the keys are you're accelerating revenue. He was scaling. His revenue was going up, 35% month over month.
Wow.
He was looking to hire people use it for growth. He was looking to add marketing, for his particular support. So those were the components. So that, to your point, that's one of our other success stories. We look to do another funding before the year's out.
Oh, it's fantastic. So even for our callers, even though you may not be there at this point, but what Kim said at the top of the conversation was you're going to change your paradigm to thinking, I'm going $1 million business. So what do I need to do that? And what I found, and I do a youth program where we teach kids to be entrepreneurs, and that's one of the exercises we do right off the bat is, okay, what does it take in order to get, you want $100,000, you're a kid, but you want $100,000. What do we need to be selling your product at, and what does it take for you to do that? So they get that right off the bat. Whereas we found with most of our business owners, they're in business by default. A lot of them fall into business, or as we a couple weeks ago, we reviewed the book E-Myth Revisited, and we went through that. And I've been doing this for someone else, and I'm just sick of this. I'm sick of working for them, and I'm going to start my own business. But they don't understand what's been going on in the back. Why you're sick of the company is whatever's been going on in the back. So they don't know that until they actually get into that position.
And another way of looking at it is, first, what is the income level that you that you deserve, not looking at it as, well, I can only.
Right.
No, you deserve to make a 6-figure salary or
Exactly.
7-figure salary. And then, it's part of the starting where you want to be and working backwards. And then look at, okay, what size the business need to be to make that happen. You can do that.
Right.
You can do that.
Right.
That's what the other guys are doing, let me tell you.
Right.
Exactly. And a lot of times that's one of mine when I'm doing my my business plan class. It's like, okay, if you are thinking that you want to do $50,000 a year or $60,000 a year in revenue, you don't need to leave a job.
Right.
Because you make that at a job. So you got to be thinking bigger. You got to be thinking of $1 million. And you're like, wow, that's a lot of money when we do projections. Oh my God, that's a lot of, no, that's not.
Right.
If you're running a company, so now let's put in your expenses, let's put in your cost of goods. That's not a lot of money.
No, and it's back to the discussion last night. If you don't have a business that is making, $500,000, million, $5 million, you're going to have some pain. So how much pain do you want? And when it's painful enough, you will look. But it's the paradigm shift. It's working with experts like yourself, saying you could be $1 million business, and somebody's going to help you figure it out. You don't have to have all the answers, but you just got to want it. And don't be afraid.
Right, exactly. And be willing to invest in your business.
Exactly.
Because it's going to pay off. Whatever you're paying for, coach, and classes and to grow your business or to even get your business positioned so it can grow, then that's going to be beneficial on the back end of it, because you're going to start immediately seeing, when you're working with a coach, you start immediately seeing progress because you're being redirected, and things that you hadn't thought about, they have thought about, because this is what they do for a living. So we can look at your business objectively and say, you know what, I don't think that's working, but why don't we try this?
Right. And the other thing is, the one thing you can't control is time.
Right.
And recognize they say it takes 3 times as long and it costs twice as much. And so give yourself time to learn how to get it right. Too often people think, I got this idea, it's going to be the next Facebook. That's 1 out of billion possibilities.
Which takes me to my next point. Entrepreneurs, one of the things I really want to emphasize, so you guys understand, when we talk about pain here, we're talking about the fact that pain, it's measured in 3 ways: time, money, and resources. Okay? Time, money, resources. That's what your pain in your business amounts to. So when we're talking about pain, that's really what we're talking about. The next way in approaching pain is that you're in business to solve a pain. Just remember that. Not just to get rich or to create or to bring an invention or an idea to the marketplace.
Right.
It's to solve a pain in the marketplace. Just want to put that
and it's not about them. It's not about them liking their product. It's about your consumer liking your product. It has nothing to do with you, right?
It's not about you. It is not about you. It's about your customer. And until you got your customer, we had a webinar. That's one of the things that we do is every other week we do subject matter expert webinars. And this morning we had one on how to present to win large customers and investor. And our presenter said, when you think of what you do, it's 3 things. Is it a nice to have? Is it an aspirin? Or is it like, penicillin? And so you have to continue to have that conversation and dialogue to make it's a must-have. Because when your product or service is a must-have, when the economy adjusts, you're in there. You are a requirement.
Right. Which is what happened to during the recession. They hadn't prepared, and again, they're working on small margins, not having projected. There are people that I know that were in the mortgage business that survived because they knew their market, and so they were able to project out. They knew something was about to happen, so they start pulling back and downscaling and figuring out another direction to go in while the market was turning itself back around, and also seeing it's just like when you're in the stock market. market. When it's a bullish market, you can play on the other side of the game too.
Right.
So they figured out, wait a minute, when it turns, then what we're going to be looking at. We need to look at REOs because that's where the market is going. It just is what the reality is.
And that's the other side of it when you invest in, coaching and somebody else who's worked with a lot of other businesses, you get the benefit of their successes and what they found out didn't work.
Right.
And that's what is so beneficial because when you are a solopreneur, you're so focused on just in that treadmill, so you don't see, you're blinded. You don't get to see that, you needed to make an adjustment here or an adjustment there.
Right, exactly. So we're getting close on our time. That's 2 hours go by so very quickly.
So, Kim, we really want to thank you.
So is there anything you would want to share and close in and talk about?
A couple things. So our next boot camp is going to start on January 4th, and we'll be having the link open for folks to apply there.
Okay.
And then the other is we do, as I shared with you, the subject matter expert webinars. They're free.
Okay.
And so those will be up on our website soon. We have a veterans leadership event that we're going to be hosting on November 4th.
Oh, okay.
It'll be moderated networking. We're also going to have a panel about transitioning leadership to run your business as a veteran.
Okay.
And then the last piece, we're going to have a section that will be led by Stedman Graham with regards to transitional leadership.
Oh, wow. Now, is that in San Diego?
It is in San Diego.
Okay, and the webinars are available, obviously, online, so
Yes.
they can go online. But anyone can come down to San
Yes,
Diego.
they can.
And so you guys, that's to hear Stedman talk about it. So that might be a great road trip. Make a weekend. Is it on the week or?
It is on a Friday.
On a Friday. Look at that. Then you can stay in
The
San
long
Diego
weekend.
For the weekend.
So,
that's-
Kimberly, I'd like to give you some copies of our brochures on Small Biz Pro.
Okay.
We'll tell you a little bit about our program, and certainly we want to work with being a strategic partner with you because we see how we can help some of your members with this system,
Okay.
help them better manage their business.
That sounds great.
Yes.
and then some of the businesses possibly that are coming in that are not ready for you yet.
We want to be able to give them homes so that
Exactly.
when they grow, they can come right back.
They can come right back.
What we'd like you to do is to go to the site and register your business.
Okay.
And then once you've registered and you validate the link and everything, send us an email and we'll give you a lifetime membership.
Oh, well,
For
thank
free.
you very much.
For free.
Wow, I'm
Providing you'll refer some of your businesses our way.
okay. You can count on that.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much, Kim.
Yeah, we've been very blessed to have. So now that we're talking grown-up businesses, guys. We're teaching. We're at adolescent stage talking about college. So that's where we are. So that you guys will get that. But see, one day you did go from kindergarten, college. So you can still do that with your
And
business.
all businesses start that way.
All
and
business-
the great part about businesses is you can be young again.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's good.
So I want to thank you guys. We will be back next week. We're
Do you have
starting.
any announcements you want to make?
Let's see. There is actually a play, and I believe Lamont was calling in Biblical Films. They have a play that is called The Marriage, and it is going to be on October 8th at the West Angeles Performing Arts Studio right there on theater on Crenshaw. And it is Dawn Lewis is is the lead actress, and they have a 2:30 show and a 3:30 show. So I believe if you go to the biblicalfilms.com, you can find it, and they've been posting it all over Facebook. And so check that out. It sounds like a great play. And let's see what else is going on. Recycling Black Dollars' Breakfast Mixer is the second Tuesday of October 14th, and we are celebrating or having a tribute to Muhammad Nazardine, the founder of our organization, Recycling Black Dollars. So please come out, and also, guys, trend on Facebook on RBD's Facebook. If you've had any experiences and what you remember from Muhammad, let's kind of get some conversation going on a tribute to Muhammad Nazardine, the visionary that started Recycling Black Dollars. And I think we've come to an end. I don't think there's any other thing I got.
Well, I'm going to make a quick announcement.
Okay.
And as you know, I've started my business management academy in the Inland Empire with the National Latina Business Women Association. We started our first class this past Wednesday on September 28th. Phenomenal class. We had 25 participants in the class.
Okay.
We had 30, but only 25 of them were entrepreneurs. So that was a great class. We're getting lots of accolades out of that. We did capability statement development, and we did a few other things within the workshop. So they love that. So next class will be next Wednesday. That's October 5th. And we're going to cover best practice compliance. And we're also going to cover record keeping and paperwork management. So this is going to be a phenomenal workshop. And on that class, we'll talk about our program, Small Biz Pro, wherein we'll have participants sign up. We'll give them free registration because they already paid for the class. So they'll get free registration. So that's a part of that too. So I'm pretty excited. It's an 8-week class.
Oh, good.
At the end of the class, we're going to graduate all of them and connect them with contract providers. Last year, we graduated 29 women from the program, and it was phenomenal.
Fantastic.
So this program is sponsored by the California Department of General Services and SoCal Edison, and a few banks like California Bank and Trust and Comerica.
Oh, fantastic.
So I'm very excited about this. The word is getting out about the Business Management Academy. So
good job. Good job. I also have a webinar series. Is a complimentary webinar series that I'm doing that's leading into a business plan course. And it is Launch Your Dream Now. And get out of your own self way. And it's going to be October 9th. You can go on my Facebook page and you will see the link there. Or if you're interested, you can call or text me. My Facebook page is Crystal Mitchell, and you can go also on Recycling Like Dollars' Facebook page and the Business Zone. You can find it there, and you can also find my information on my website. So go to mitchellbusinesssolutions.com, and you can get my contact information there.
And let them know how to find us, Crystal.
And you can find us, the Business Zone, at thebusinesszone.com, and you can go to our YouTube page as the Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert, and register, subscribe so you can get our video when we put them up, and you can go to our Facebook page. And you just Google the Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert, and you can find all of us everywhere on the internet. We're at the top of the page.
And the next 1,000 subscriber will receive lifetime free membership.
There you
in
go,
the Small
guys.
Biz Pro.
And
so go there and subscribe right now.
Okay, and so we're gonna close it out, but make sure you go to FoundersFirstCapitalPartners.com and register for the boot camp, and as well as the upcoming webinars that she has, and they're complimentary. So she gave you some powerful information. So you guys want to take that business and start getting that $1 million revenue place or $250,000, then this is the first step.
And when you register at that site, you will also get access to a free white paper. Just so you know. Okay? We're checking out.
All right.
This is Crystal.
And that's Gilbert.
That's right.
We'll see
out.
you next week.